We missed the time to talk with Bill King last week. He's got his full voice back. In fact, he's got 101% of that voice back. And he joins us right now here on Halftime. Bill, of course, hosting 6 to 9 WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. He is the king of college football talk. Bill, you sounded great this morning. How you feeling?
Oh, I feel good. I sounded worse last week than I was. I don't think I've ever had the Darth Vader voice quite that severe.
You fought through it, though. You really did. I mean, I listened for a good hour. I didn't know how you were able to get through it.
People kept telling me, you need to get off the air. We today or yesterday, I don't remember, we replayed some of Monday, like 30 seconds, and that's all we could do. It was so bad. It was funny, though. Self-deprecating humor is always good.
They tell me that all the time, so at least it's all good. Yeah, hey, Bill, I want to ask you a little bit about some of these college players that are going to the NFL, and just who are some of these guys you think are can't miss, like Abdul Carter from Penn State. I think that's as close as a can't miss. Where do you see him going? What about Travis Hunter? And then can you kind of give me like a couple? Do you think it's Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward at the quarterback spot? Who do you really like as a couple can't miss prospects?
Well, I think the team here is probably going to take Shedeur Sanders. Now, I wouldn't know because I don't keep up, but that's just off the street. That's what people are saying. Travis Hunter is a spectacular athlete. I worry about him holding up. He's probably 175 pounds on a good day. Devontae Smith is small, too. He's 5'11", about 170, and we've seen him get killed a few times, but he keeps hanging in there. He's a heck of a receiver. But I think Travis Hunter is more of a corner, and in that case, really, other than Patrick Peterson, there are not many corners that you think are physical, whose job requires them to be physical, let's say in the running game. So I'm probably not as worried about that one as I would be, but he's probably the best overall athlete, I would think. Abdul Carter is a fantastic hybrid pass rusher, physical, can play against the run as well. James Pierce had a bad year for Tennessee, and I don't know if he's dropping out of the first round. He was the top-ranked guy going in. And let me back up. He didn't have a bad year, but he didn't have a follow-through big year like was expected. He's got 6'6", 270-pound length and size, but he's fallen back some, I believe.
Yeah, they had him right outside the top 10. They had him behind the Mikael Williams guy at Georgia. But I'm with you. I think he's a stud as well. Do you think Shedeur Sanders has the arm strength? Or is he? I mean, is he slotted where you think he is right now? It's saying the Giants are going to take him.
Yeah, I mean, probably all these quarterbacks probably taken higher than they should be. But it's the nature of the sport. It's the nature of the job description. It's the nature of the need. I don't know if there's not one guy in this group that just floors you as a Sunday guy and a superstar Sunday guy. And admittedly, that's rare. I'm not acting like they come out every year. But I think he's probably the surest bet.
Wanted to ask about Ohio State looking at a defensive coordinator. I know they've got, they just moved Brian Hartline right into the role of offensive coordinator with Chip Kelly. It was $6. I didn't realize it was $6 million until Connor mentioned it yesterday. Matt Patricia, potentially a candidate at Ohio State?
Yeah, that would seem suspicious, not because that wouldn't be an outstanding gig, but he's a pro guy. And I don't know, although he's not being asked to be the head coach, I don't know if guys that are comfortable, long pro careers, like Matt Patricia would be interested in coming back down. I don't know that to be the case. That one surprised me a little bit.
Well, do you feel so like the idea of Ron Rivera taking a year to work at Cal? And I don't remember what it is he's going to be doing specifically at Cal, but he's not going to be the head coach. It's like he says Belichick made going back to college cool again. So maybe we'll start to see a little bit more of this. But do you feel there's going to be you need a little acclimation time? Do you think so? Belichick's not getting any acclimation time to college except just going and right into recruit.
Well, I believe Rivera's GM, which means it's not the same definition. It's not just blind authority over all personnel, but it's the personnel department is, I believe, where he's going to be at Cal. I don't know, acclimation period. If you're not the head coach, I don't know if you're as stressed about this mercenary vigilante environment that we now exist in. I don't think it's quite as stressful on an assistant. If you're a head coach, it's a nightmare that never goes away. It's a reoccurring nightmare every night you put your head on the pillow. But I don't know in the case of an assistant coach if it would be the same. It's just those guys that seem to be NFL guys, and I label them that way. Sometimes I just don't necessarily trust or believe that they want to come down to college unless there is no other choice.
Bill, what's going down in Lubbock, man? I'm seeing that they got 7 of the top 75 in the ESPN top 100 in this last portal class. It says the number 2 portal class going in. Are you liking what they're doing down there? Is Texas Tech maybe that Indiana of last year? You think they could win the Big 12? I didn't see all the guys they got, but are you liking what they're doing?
Their GM is a guy that Notre Dame threw the bank at last couple of weeks. They lost their GM to Southern Cal for 7 figures. And they went after the guy at Texas Tech and threw everything they had at him and couldn't get him. Couldn't get him. He's staying. He's got family in Lubbock. And Texas Tech's got money, guys, as we know. They may not be thought of like A&M and Texas. They got lots of play money for this environment, and they're using it, and they are a threat. Now, are they a threat to be a national champion? No. But are they a threat like Arizona State was? Heck yeah.
You use the term general manager. That is becoming very popular. Yeah. Is not the word. It's just that you're seeing these positions now all across college football. We have yet to see a general manager at Arkansas. Sam Pittman was asked about that in the lead up to the Liberty Bowl, and he said if that's something to happen, it probably happens around springtime. Now, I'm not sure how they envision the role of a general manager because it can be different place to place. Do you feel like Arkansas is behind right now because they don't have somebody that is called a general manager?
Vague answer, and the answer is depends on who you get. That guy can be an incredibly powerful member of the staff because talent procurement, I think, is the second most important thing behind how good your head coach is in the list of things that are necessary. So it depends on who you can go get. Just to name a GM, and I know that's not what you're suggesting, I don't think it changes anything. It also depends on the stress level of the head coach. Mm-hmm. And is the head coach comfortable with turning this over in a certain way? Obviously, the head coach is the final say. It just depends on the comfort level there. So I don't necessarily want to personally say Arkansas is behind because they don't have a GM.
Well, I was reading through the career of Howie Roseman, the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, who, right. I mean, he's got to be on the short list of the best at that position right now, just to be the guy that's put together 2 Super Bowl winners with 2 different coaches and 2 different quarterbacks. And he's had the role and the final say over the personnel since they got rid of Chip Kelly and brought in Peterson. So you see it's not the same across every team in the NFL. Some right. teams have a general manager that has the final say. Some teams have a coach that has the final say, and I'm sure there's meetings and arguments and positions that they take where there's some power sharing here. With college, it still feels like no matter what, because this is the way it's always been, the head coach will have the final say. It is still the head coach's team.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. And if you're Philadelphia, just take one of the best players on Georgia's defense every Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Just take, 3 stars, 3 studs, and then Josh Sweat, who probably might have been the best player in the game, Florida State guy. Yeah, I mean, they've made a lot of right decisions.
I've wondered, too, about the idea of a coach that just, because you say all the constraints, all of the responsibilities that a head coach has to worry about that have nothing to do with actually coaching the team. Could you envision a point in college football where a head coach does give up that personnel and allow somebody else to make that final decision while understanding they're always going to be talking about the potential personnel on a team?
99 times out of 100, no. Yeah. There's too much of an ego involved there. And you start worrying about personnel decisions now, they drop a guy in your lap that you don't agree with. I don't see that happening. Now, what if it's a guy who, let's say, he's had a good career, but he's getting old? Maybe, and I don't even know if a guy like that with a long ego, if he could do it, but it would have to be a really tenuous situation where maybe the head coach is told by the AD or the president, either do this or get out. It'd have to be something like that. It'd have to be a threat.
Hey, Bill, I wanted to get. I see there's a bevy of receivers that are in the top 30, top 40. Who are your favorite? The kid at Missouri. I think there's a really talented kid out there at Arizona. Who are some of the? Is there a Jordan Jefferson, so to speak, or is there somebody that you're like, man, that's a can't miss receiver?
Not like that. Luther Burden at Missouri. You mentioned him. He's outstanding. He's a green grass playmaker. He's got NFL breakaway speed. He's a true junior. He's done. To me, that would be one at the very, very top. I don't know if, and I haven't really thought about it lately coast to coast, I don't know if this is a big year for this receiving core. And the other ironic thing is, for some, there are reasons, but the transition from high school to college at wide receiver is not that hard compared to some other positions. But from college to pro, because the DBs are so much better than anything you ever see in college, is a much tougher transition. And I don't know that I see a young receiver exploding like we've seen the last couple of years.
Last thing before you go, when we talk next week, it'll be baseball season. You get the college baseball starting up on Friday. And I know that's your second favorite college sport. You always keep an eye on Vandy. I know you focus so much on college football, but this has always been something that you've taken pride in and paid attention to as well.
Right. Love it. And I haven't looked at the schedule yet just because I want to get into it later in the week and figure out what I'm going to be watching starting Friday. All these matchups. And some good matchups down in Texas, too. But it's your typical list. It's now it's A&M with all they've got back, plus Jake LaViolette, and you've got LSU, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida. I saw one listing, guys, had Georgia in the top 5. I don't remember which one it was, and this is year 2 for Coach Johnson. Kentucky is always better than people think. Texas, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to bring a whole lot more in baseball right now than they are in football. And certainly in softball.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.